Welcome to another video. If you're new here, my name is Becca. I'm a writer. I'm currently working on my upmarket fiction novel going under the name of Glass Paradise. And if you're not new, hi, it's good to see you again. Welcome to episode 4 of the NaNoWriMo Diaries. I didn't upload a video on Sunday. It is Sunday right now. I have nothing to give, and that is because I think when I ended my last vlog, I was literally talking about how it felt like my eyeballs were gonna melt out of my head on Wednesday, and that feeling continued all the way until yesterday. So I haven't really touched the book since then. I haven't really written. I haven't done much of anything except rest. I find that I'm actually having a lot easier of a time forgiving myself for doing that and for just taking the time that I need to recoup so that I can come back to the project much more refreshed. I have some really high hopes that we'll get some writing done today. I do have a couple errands to run. Right now, this is just fun girl time. I have my fun drink. I have the cloud foam cookie butter latte. I've not tried this, but I had a craving for it and I really wanted to try it, so we're gonna try it together here in a second. I am at the Thrift. It does seem busy. Am I looking for something in particular? No. Oh my God, there's someone parking right next to me, like a space away. I just wanted to peruse. This is like my fun time. I just like to meander sometimes, and the Thrift is a good place to do that because if I spend money, A, it's secondhand, B, it's a little bit more inexpensive. And then once I'm done here, Edward and I might watch some football and then go, well, we definitely need to go grocery shopping. So I'm trying to conserve energy for that as well. I have been pre-warned by my husband not to get too tired before we have to go do actual adult responsible things. Let's try this latte out. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, actually. I'm gonna head inside. I'm just gonna have some fun. Honestly, I might look at the Christmas decor. As I've said before, I think it's tacky Christmas is the word for it now. Did not used to be tacky, but it's like tacky Christmas decor stuff. There's some things about living with a boy. If I didn't have my husband to have to be considerate of, I would probably have a much more fun, tackier apartment, but I do love our space, and I do love that he gets to have quite a big say in how it looks because honestly, it's fine with me. Enough yapping. Let's go thrifting. Home, I'm gonna do a little thrift haul for you guys. It's not a lot of stuff, but it is good stuff, so I'm very happy with everything that I picked up. First things first, I actually picked up the first 2 Twilight movies. Hold on. I find myself wanting to watch these more often than I would like to admit. Admittedly, the first one is my favorite. I don't really typically watch past that one, but I do also like New Moon. I still need to read that book. I said I was gonna read it in October and I just had absolutely no time to do so. Then on clothing items, I ended up getting this cute little hat that says Shy City. I think this is actually from Alice in Wonder, which I don't know if this is like a popular brand anywhere else, but in Chicago it's like a really prominent boutique for a lot of like Chicago clothing items. So very happy to find this at the Thrift, and I love this color green, so I think it will actually look pretty good on me. The next thing I got is what I equate as like my version of the Rory Gilmore sweater. It's just this really nice, pretty knit sweater from St. John's Bay. Very cozy, very cute. Very excited to wear this. And then the last thing that I got is admittedly probably the thing I'm most excited about. It's this really cute Nautica men's jacket that's like very like cozy, like windbreaker-ish. I don't think it'll really fit me while I'm pregnant, which is unfortunate. I do think if I just layer something underneath that's like thick enough, I can manage it not being fully zipped up right now, especially because it's not super duper cold yet. It is chilly though, so I think this will actually be like a really nice jacket to have in my rotation. Also, I had to change out of my sweater because I didn't realize there was a giant stain on it. So hopefully you didn't see that in the first clip, but if you did, it's fine. It's 11:30 right now. We're both finishing up some sort of like home finance stuff, and then we're probably gonna head out to the grocery store. I need to write today. I want to write today. But I'm feeling a little overwhelmed by my manuscript right now, especially because I'm about to head into a section where I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Like I feel like I kind of know what's supposed to be happening right now. I have it outlined, but at the same time, I feel unprepared for it. Honestly, everything before the midpoint, this Act 2 Part 1 is whooping my ass. I can't seem to get it right. I still feel like, even though it's like in third person close, I think is the way that it is technically, I'm still having a hard time with my characters' voices. So like I know I'm gonna have to go back and do like this big tonal revision based on whose POV chapter it is, and I think I'm getting like extremely overwhelmed. I felt really confident with the amount of progress that I was making, and then I just started backsliding into, I think, all of the work that is still left to be done, and that kind of broke my spirit a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still gonna keep going. It just made me feel really sad because I'm like, the ebbs and flows that I have with this project in terms of how I'm feeling about it, I'm getting whiplash. Like there are some weeks where I feel high on life and I feel like, hell yeah, people are gonna love this. And then there's sometimes I'm working on it and I'm like, how is this gonna make sense to anyone? Like I need to finish it and get it out of my hands and get it into my friends' hands and let them read it and just see if from like a plot and like development perspective, if it's working. Because if it's not, that I still need to fix that. I need to fix that before everything else. I can manage that. I'm feeling a little, I don't want to say discouraged because that's not the word, but I am feeling a little, I think, just overwhelmed. This project is constantly like overwhelming me, and that's the one thing that I still continuously struggle to navigate. I'm getting better at identifying that feeling and pushing through it and working through it, but it always sucks when it crops its head up. So I'm gonna see what I can do in terms of prep while Edwin finishes up some of his work. I also need to figure out what I need to get in terms of groceries. So gotta do some life admin stuff, some book admin stuff, and then maybe we'll see if we can get a writing session in this afternoon. Thanks for letting me vent. I feel a little bit better. Hi friends, welcome to Monday. I didn't write yesterday. I guess I needed more rest. And that's fine. Also, I just wanted to hang out with my husband. Also, I washed my thrift finds so I could wear them today. But we are gonna write today. I did set my alarm for 6 this morning. It is now 7:15. So I did snooze a little, and I also just finished having breakfast. I don't know where I'm gonna write today. It's cold outside, but I kind of want to get outside. The only other like part of my challenge that I've been pretty diligent with is my reading. I'm almost halfway done with We Love You, Bunny. It's really good. It's still really good. I've been slacking on like my daily pages and getting some time outside, so I think I'm gonna brave the cold right outside, get some fresh air. It always does me a lot of good when I do manage to like make it outside, so I'm gonna do it and work for, I'm hoping, an hour or 2 hours on revising the second half of chapter 9. I need to do a reread, and I need to figure out, there's a detail that I took out from draft 2 that I'm now debating putting back in, but maybe in a different way. I'm gonna hop in the Discord as well to see if any of my friends are up right now and want to write, but there is something about having a camera on me lately that is motivating me to write. And I don't just mean like this camera, I mean like the Discord camera, just like almost like the accountability of a live stream without having to go live. Also, this is like the most, I know I said this was my Rory Gilmore sweater, but actually wearing it and looking at myself on camera, I'm like, oh, it does actually look like her. I do look like her a little bit, especially with the short hair. I'm gonna fix my coffee. I don't have hot coffee, which is unfortunate. I only have iced coffee. So we're gonna take some iced coffee out into the cold to write. Let's go. There's no way you're dead. Hi, hello. Okay, it's 11:30 right now. I'm doing a slightly earlier lunch. I have my chili. Honestly, this is hitting the spot. I have been really trying to lean into like the soup season of it all right now. But I'm gonna try and eat this quickly, do a little hair and makeup, and then I'm actually gonna meet my friend Melissa for some coffee and like a lunchtime writing sesh. The session this morning, I lasted 10 minutes outside because it was so cold. Like I literally was starting to lose feeling in my finger, so I just don't think that that's realistically something I can do this month anymore. I ended up in the first half of chapter 9 a little longer than I anticipated. And I'm like tweaking some things I'm highlighting. Like I was telling my friends that like my line level just isn't hitting. I'm trying to not worry about that. The words on the page feel ass. I'm being so honest. So I was writing this scene and I was having Laurel have this pretty visceral reaction to like this memory that she regets. Hello. She has a very visceral reaction to this memory that she remembers. And I have her acting one way and I'm like, that's not the realization she should come to at the end of having remembered that. So luckily it was only like a paragraph or two and I caught myself, so I went back and edited it. So I'm now I'm writing the transition piece between that first scene and then the scene that comes right after. Am I worried this chapter is getting a little long? A little bit, but I write really long chapters anyway. And I kind of akined it to my friends. Like, I'm making my chapters right now feel like a bunch of granny squares, and I have yet to put them together into a cardigan. Like, it almost feels like my chapters are like short stories. And I don't know, maybe this is what a book is. I have no idea. They're short stories, and you can see the through thread, especially a lot better than you could in draft 2. But there's certain things that I'm like, certain realizations I'm coming to as I'm drafting draft 3. I'm like revising draft 3 that I still need to go back and put into some of these earlier chapters. And it's just like a line or two, which is so tempting to want to like stop everything and go back and add them, but I'm trying not to. One of the things that I really like about having moved the draft over to Word as opposed to Scrivener is that I'm leaving myself a lot of inline comments, as opposed to in Scrivener you can do the same thing, but they get kind of lost because they're in the inspector note taker / comment column, and so sometimes they just kind of disappear. And it's nice in Word to just kind of have it on the side all the time. So I feel like my next draft, I might not even print it out because I'm leaving inline edits in the document anyway. That's where I'm at. I already had to jump into some work stuff, and there's like a pretty urgent work project that I need to take care of. It's like the season for stuff to be cropping up last minute. And just like, I will have finished something and then someone will be like, well, can we add this? Can we look at this piece of data? Can we do this? And usually it's fine because it's like small stuff, like little adjustments to whatever report I've created or something like that. But it does mean like it's a lot of back and forth. And sometimes I'm like, I just want to cross something off my list and have it be done, you know? Welcome to Tuesday. It is a very gloomy, very overcast, very rainy Tuesday. I have the apartment to myself today. We're gonna catch up and we're going to write. But before we do all of that, I feel like I need to catch you guys up on just like how I've been. I know I've been giving updates throughout this vlog, and I don't know. There's something about my energy this week and just what I've been feeling that just feels very, I don't want to say off, but it just feels very different. So I want to just, I think, kind of like verbally process that with you guys. So yeah, let's get into it. I also have some new makeup goodies. New / old, meaning I went back to some stuff that I really, really love. I am fully moisturized and ready to go. This might be controversial. I don't love using primer. I think it's just because in the winter my skin gets so dry. I literally have this like recurring dry patch like right here that just refuses to leave me alone. And I've also recently switched my foundation back to, this is the Kosas Skin Improving Foundation with SPF 25. This is the second time I'm using this. The first time I bought this, I really, really loved it. It's more of a medium coverage, dewier foundation. Mind you, my go-to was the Estee Lauder Double Wear, which I do think is an excellent summer foundation for me. But in the winter, my skin is just much too dry for that. Pregnancy-wise, I'm feeling good. I feel like this past week, I've finally been able to eat. Like yesterday, I actually had like good meals instead of just surviving off of scraps or these just like giant meals. I think part of the thing about pregnancy that I'm trying to like get a handle on is the fact that I can't eat the way that I used to, and I'm not talking like diet wise. I mean like I would eat 2 big meals a day and that was it, and I can't eat like that anymore because there's a baby in my stomach taking up room. I have to eat a lot of smaller meals throughout the day. But yesterday after I got back from my trip or my lunch with Melissa, or my coffee date with Melissa, you know, it's really nice because she is a writer friend who is also pregnant. She's actually supposed to give birth like now. So it was like really nice to have conversations with someone who's much further along in their pregnancy and just kind of talk through like, what's your birth plan? How are you handling XYZ? And I may have said this before, but one of the things I was really worried about with having a baby was just like the feeling like I was gonna lose community. And I think that's just a thing that you kind of just always see with social media. Ugh, I could do a whole video on ways that I broke my pregnancy anxiety when it comes to social media, but I am not a mom content channel. I might do it over on my TikTok or something like that. Guys, I have been feeling the siren call to do short form. I don't know what's going on. For concealer, I'm using the Tower 28 concealer. This is in the shade, I think it's EP. My foundation is in the shade Light Neutral 140, which I thought was gonna be too light, but I guess I really just am that pale. And then after I got back home from my coffee shop date, Melissa and I did not write. I had work stuff to do. And this is just like the season where things are just cropping up last minute and they need to be done like yesterday. So I'm trying to just kind of ride the wave and not feel overwhelmed. I think because this is my particular busy season and kind of overseeing a lot of the stuff that happens with end of year, not in terms of like project management wise, but just like when the money comes in, how are we tracking it? Am I making sure we're catching everything? There's a lot of lists and data that I have to pull that like nobody else can really do at this point. So I'm just kind of gatekeeping a lot of things. Not really gatekeeping, that's not the right word, but I don't know what the right word for it is. I think I always feel on high alert with work specifically during this time of year because it's a lot of pressure. This is like, if you know anything about fundraising, end of year is like the Super Bowl. This is like when everybody makes the majority of their funds, at least for individual giving at the end of the year. So it's like do or die, you know what I mean? I've done plenty of end of year campaigns before. I know my way around, but each one is completely different. Like the way we're doing this one is completely different from the way that we did it last year. Just kind of been a little stressed with that. I'm just trying to like remind myself that, you know, as important as some things are, I don't need to drop everything immediately. I can like take a breather and like, I can't let other people's emergencies dictate my work to a certain extent. I am learning and trying to manage my work stress because my team is fantastic. They're all super great, super considerate. They're all moms too, so they're all very empathetic to the fact that I am pregnant. But there's just like a bunch of other stuff on top of end of year that is getting to me. Like I already have to sort of start thinking about my maternity leave and putting together like the packet of my like responsibilities and what I do on projects, because we have a really big project by the time that I go off on maternity leave that it's just a lot. It's a lot. For bronzer, I'm using the Merit's cream bronzer in Leo. This is the Bronze Bomb. I really like this one a lot actually. During the winter, I find that I gravitate a lot more towards like creams. I just feel like they sit a lot better on my skin because of obviously the dry climate. So when it comes to writing, after I got back home from my coffee shop date with Melissa, I have said that sentence 3 times, I feel like. I wrapped up work and I was like, you know what? Edwin's gonna go to the gym. I'll sit at the computer. I'll write. I'll feel better. I have gotten to a point where I am like genuinely terrified of my manuscript again. I felt kind of on a high rewriting chapter 9 and now I just kind of feel lost again. And if this doesn't like perfectly encapsulate what it's like to write a book and the yo-yo of emotions that you go through just from like one chapter to another or one day to another, I don't know what does, because I was telling the girls in Discord that like, yeah, I just feel like the quality of the work is not there. It's not where I want it to be, especially on like a draft 3. But I still have to remember it's only draft 3 and my first 2 drafts were extremely messy. Like this is gonna be hopefully the first really coherent draft that I put together, and it's still gonna need a lot of work. And I'm just like constantly reminding myself of that. I think it's just like this thing of feeling afraid of putting so much work and effort into something and it's still sucking no matter what you do to try to fix it. And then you're in it so much that you're just kind of like grasping at goo and you're just like, I don't know if the changes I'm making are good or not. I hear that's a pretty universal experience and that when people typically get to that point, that means it's time to let the book go. But I'm like, I can't be feeling that way on draft 3. I'm not there yet. For brows, I'm using my Revlon Color Stay Micro Pencil. I love these types of brow pencils where it's just like a little, literally just like a pencil and like the little spoolie. Like this is the best for my brows personally because I have very thick brows. Oh. It's always my nose. I always forget to finish doing something on my nose. yeah, I had a really rough time with it yesterday. And I got home and I was just so run down. I was just feeling some type of way, you know what I mean? So I just like sat on the couch and watched TV. And if I'm being so honest, when my husband's home, I want to spend time with him. Like, I want to be next to him. And the thing is that I can't be on the computer. Like, I want to spend intentional time with him. I want to watch sports with him. I want to watch a show with him. Right now we're catching up on Stranger Things. Like, I mean, I rewatch that show year round. He doesn't. Let me finish my brows and then I'll come back. Hold on. Yeah, I just like spending time with him. And the idea of like leaving him, I don't know what it is. It's just really hard to start a writing session these days. And the idea of like leaving him when I'm having a good time, like bonding with him and we're just like talking to the baby, I just don't want to do it. So I just kind of like, and then by the time he does go to the gym, because he goes so late, he goes at like 9 o'clock. I'm so tired. Like, I go to bed at 10. I've been lately going to bed at like 9 or 8 o'clock sometimes just because of how tired I've been with baby and just like life and stuff. Hard for me. It's always been kind of hard for me to do like a nighttime writing session. I feel like that's when I'm winding down, not when I'm looking to like creatively output. Side note, okay, I got back from the coffee shop and I started watching Welcome to Derry actually like this past weekend. And I watched the new episode. If you guys are big horror fans, that show makes Pennywise in the movies look like a chump. I was clutching my pearls at various scenes during that show. It's really good, honestly, too, like story-wise. It's like so interesting. It goes places you like wouldn't really expect it to go, in like a good way, in like a, oh, they went there. Wow. The one observation I will make is that now that I am a mom, and I do count myself as a mom now because I do have a child, he's just in my belly. I did not realize how much of horror is centered around women and childbirth. I think the process of giving birth, yes, can be very, very horrific. And there's a lot of horror stories about birthing stories and just there's a lot. I get it. It can go very south very quickly. But as someone that has dealt with anxiety and now am learning to manage my anxiety in pregnancy, so there were like 3 different scenes of like mother, pregnancy, birth giving, horror scenes in that show. And I was just like, that did make me feel good. I was watching also Markiplier play Silent Hill F. And there is a monster in there that also kind of exemplifies that. That's a whole other like video essay topic. I have just been finding it so hard to get into a consistent rhythm with this project, and I'm just trying to ride the waves of energy when they come. This is the Kosas Air Brow like brow gel. I'm still really optimistic about this challenge. There's certain things I haven't been able to do. I try to read when I can. I try to journal when I can. I haven't been able to go outside just because it's been like super duper cold. I've gotten really good at giving myself grace for not always doing everything, but I do feel like I'm failing a little bit. I do feel like I'm failing myself. I feel like I'm failing my manuscript. I feel like I'm failing like my viewers. I don't know. And it's also just small stuff in like the grand scheme of things. I know not to take it too seriously. I think more than anything now I'm like, damn, I would really love to be in a much better spot by the time baby comes on this book. I don't know if that's just unrealistic. I don't know if that's a thing that's like never gonna happen. Also, this is the Ilia Limitless Lash Mascara. This is the best mascara. I have pretty good lashes. I don't really love a lot of volume. I love a lot of length, and this, so good. I picked it up finally. It was sold out for years because I tried the travel size of this and it doesn't smear, on me at least. Yeah, I just don't know if it's like delusional of me to like kind of hope to be in a better spot, especially like going through pregnancy. I know this sounds kind of dumb, but sometimes I like genuinely forget that like, yeah, my body's making a human. I'm gonna be more tired. I will have bigger swings of energy and bigger swings of time where I need to like recoup, right? If there's anything that this phase of life has taught me is that I need to learn to just roll with the punches. I've not always been very good at that. Okay, so that is like most of my makeup done. I do need to put on a little bit. Oh, I should put on some blush. I I look kind of dead. Okay, hold on. I need to put on blush and lipstick. Can you believe that when I was younger, my mom was always like, ponte un poquito de lip gloss, ponte un poquito de algo, put a little something on. And I'd be like, Jesus. Now I'm like, yeah, no, I look dead without like a little something. This is the ColourPop Just Cruisin' Pressed Powder. Would help if I didn't put the glass down. It's a very nice color. Very easy to go overboard with, which you can't tell on camera, but in real life, I have very pink cheeks. I'm going through it with my draft. And I think the one nice thing, and this is why, one of those reasons why I say having writing community is so important. One of the really nice things about having met with Melissa yesterday, because her and I have seen each other more and more recently, and it's really nice to have someone in person that I can talk to about a lot of these things. Mind you, my AuthorTube writing friends, spectacular. Love them, 10 out of 10. They have gotten me through a lot. But there is something about like another writing friend who's about to become a mom, kind of going through the same things in her draft and us being able to talk about it in person and just kind of like ideate in a different way. It does make me feel a lot better. It does make me feel like I'm not so alone in this process. And I know nothing that what I've experienced either in life or with writing this book is particularly unique. I know these are very universal struggles that people kind of go through when they do any sort of long form creative project. One of the things I'm really struggling with is like, I want to be super creative. I want to take social media super seriously. I want to upload because it's fun and I love talking to everyone. I want to take my Substack seriously. I have a 9-to-5. Like, sometimes I'm in delusion about how much time and energy that takes up, the output that requires of me. And I'm not always best at managing. Like, Rebecca now will make plans for Rebecca later that Rebecca's body later can't cash, or brain for that matter. But sorry, I don't know if any of that made sense. Multitasking is not my strong suit. I'm hoping that makes sense. Basically, I'm tired. Mentally, I'm exhausted, but I still want to show up. And I'm having to push through a lot of really negative feelings that I know are totally normal. And I want to vocalize them, not for pity, but for anyone that's kind of going through the same thing where it's just like, I feel like I have a lot going right now. I know so many of us juggle 9 to 5, have so much else going on in our lives, school and families and partners, and it can be really hard to figure out how to divide your time in a way where you feel like you're giving enough to everyone and everything. I think I need to accept that that's just not the case. I can't be everything everywhere all at once. But today we are gonna write. Today should be a relatively quiet work day. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm just going to ease into things. I'm not gonna jump into a writing session with any sort of expectation. I think that also sets me up for success. I'm going to work in like smaller time chunks in between tasks. And hopefully that'll get me kind of in a better groove. I also spent a week away from the project, and whenever I do that, it's so hard to get back into it. I also need to edit the vlog for tomorrow. See what I mean? Like, stuff just kind of accumulates so quickly, but it'll be fine. Let's go ahead and get started with the day. Welcome to Friday and to the end of the vlog. I had a really rough week, guys, and I kind of picked the worst time to try and do 2 videos a week because, number one, you didn't have to experience it unless you were over on my Instagram, but I tried to get this video done and filmed, and then my memory card just gave out, and I was really scared I wasn't going to be able to save any of the footage. So I decided to just put it out on Saturday. And then my mom is coming in next week. It was kind of a last minute decision. I'm really excited to spend time with her. I'm probably going to vlog bits and pieces while she's here, but I am not going to adhere to the 2 videos a week while she's here just because I really want to spend as much time and enjoy my time with her without worrying about having to get a video out by a certain time. I'm trying really hard to give myself grace with this because I feel like I went from being very consistent with uploads to just getting very sporadic. I do feel a little bad about that from time to time, but at the same time, it's like I need breaks, and you know, there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes for me, both personally and creatively, and I am trying to navigate all of that. I always compare myself to last year and think of all that I was able to do while I was unemployed, or at least working part-time, and it was so nice and I was so grateful that I was able to do that, but I can't sustain that same kind of workflow anymore. It's just been a big learning curve, and one that's taken longer than I would like to admit to kind of understand and work with. But I really hope you guys enjoyed the vlog yesterday, or not yesterday, but the last writing session that you saw. I ended up working with Cody, Natalie, Taylor, and a few others, basically like all day. I got so much work in chapter 9 done. I am on the last few paragraphs of that chapter. I feel like it's in a much stronger spot. I think this is gonna be it for the November videos. I'm still gonna continue my writing challenge. I failed this week. I really did fail, and that makes me so sad, but I still managed to show up in little ways that I could, and it's important to focus on that as opposed to the failure. The challenge is just there to motivate you. It's not something you have to stick to every single day. In my opinion, you only really fail if you give up completely. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out so much. Also, please feel free to leave comments. Guys, your comments literally make my day. I read every single one, even though I might not have like the mental bandwidth to respond to each one. Honestly, don't think I would have kept going with YouTube if it weren't for my friends and the comments and the community that we've built here. I'm just so thankful. So if there was a favorite part of the video that you liked, or if there's something that you're struggling with that you want to share and you just want community and support, please feel free to leave it in the comments down below. But until next time, I am rooting for you. Bye!